What's going on, guys? This is Ryan with the RK Outpost, and so much is starting to come out about exactly what went down on the set of Rust from a multitude of different sources. From anonymous people that are just in the industry that have heard a few things about what went down, to court documents, to affidavits, to police investigations, and of course, from members of the crew themselves who have their own takes on what exactly went down and who is to blame. We've heard a lot of blame get pushed on the 24-year-old inexperienced armorer, Hannah Gutierrez-Reed. We've also heard a lot of people bringing up the assistant director and his past, which includes getting fired for gun safety violations. But now we have a member of this crew who's willing to do what a lot of other people have done, but not too many people that have been close to this project have done. Blame Alec Baldwin himself for what happened. And you can see the headline, Alec Baldwin among those responsible for checking gun, Rust crew member says. And of course, Alec Baldwin is the one who was holding the gun, who shot Halyna Hutchins when she died, who also injured director Joel Souza. We've talked about the custody, what went down, how this gun got live ammo in it, potentially because they were using it for target practice. But one thing from a lot of crew members that has not been said is that Alec Baldwin bears responsibility for the person holding the gun, let alone his role as producer of this entire thing. So the environment on set, the safety conditions on set, the conditions for the crew on set, which led to so many of them walking off, he's responsible for all those things as well. But of course, he is the man who held this gun in his hand with live ammunition, and he is the one who discharged it at Halyna Hutchins. Let's get into this. A location manager for Rust says at least 4 people were responsible for checking the weapon that killed cinematographer Halyna Hutchins, including gun-firing star Alec Baldwin. A massive mistake was made, Stacey Mickey Evans told Australia's 92.5 Triple M Gold Coast. There are massive protocols to stop these things from happening. There are multiple checks for it, which is kind of what I've been saying the entire time. There's a lot of blame to go around. There really is. You can't just point to one person and say, well, he's the last one that had it. He should have checked it. Like, yeah, you know what? He should have. Alec Baldwin should have checked this weapon. Alec Baldwin should have seen that there was a live round in there. But at the same time, he's not the only one to blame, although he definitely deserves a lot of it. She noted that the armorist, assistant director, and the key grip are supposed to, quote, check the gun no matter what's going on set. And then, very lastly, the actor checks the gun, she said of Baldwin, who is also one of the movie's executive producers. Well, also just regular producers as well, not just executive. So here are 4 to 5 people in this stage, she said, but somehow there was a failure. And I think this is big. We have seen a very dedicated push to try to scapegoat a lot of other people for this happening, which, again, I'm being straight up, I'm being honest with you. Yeah, the armorer was a big part of why this happened. The fact that these guns were being used for target practice in their off time, that they were mixing blanks and live rounds together. That is a big problem. And she did not have the experience. She did not have the dedication. She did not have the care. She should not have been on that set. She is responsible for this. The assistant director who went up to this cart, grabbed a gun, didn't check it, and declared that it was cold before he handed it to Alec Baldwin. Dave Halls, he is responsible for this. Absolutely. But of course, Alec Baldwin himself is responsible for this. And finally, we have a crew member who is specifically laying on the blame, who is specifically calling out Alec Baldwin, saying he should have checked that gun, which is not something we've heard up to this point. So maybe that means that more people might be doing this. From what we've heard, Alec Baldwin is not the best to work with. He is an asshole. He is pompous. He is a piece of garbage. And he's also willing to threaten people's careers if they don't do what he wants. So it wouldn't really be a stretch to say that maybe people are fearful of actually laying the blame on Alec Baldwin because they think their careers might be in jeopardy. Well, I think Alec's might be in jeopardy as well. Mickey Evans says she finds it difficult to talk about the terrifying tragedy. The shooting left blood splattered all over the Hollywood star who changed out of the Western outfit he was wearing and into street clothing before talking to investigators. His clothes were taken as evidence. This was obviously a real weapon, and this particular weapon was supposed to be loaded with blanks. Thank you. Someone didn't say prop gun. Someone finally said the real thing. Yes, this was a real weapon, because you know what? Prop guns, as the terminology is typically used, those only take blanks. Those specifically, you can't even load live ammunition in the vast majority of them. This was a real gun. Bottom line, they used it for target practice. So yes, of course it is. Thank you. I'm glad she points that out. This is what everyone thought, that it was checked and double checked and triple checked, supposedly. That obviously didn't happen. Somewhere along the lines, it fell through the cracks, she said. A search warrant released on Sunday said Assistant Director Dave Halls grabbed one of the 3, quote, prop guns that was set up by armorer Hannah Gutierrez-Reed, left on a cart outside the makeshift structure where the filming was being done. The cart is a gray in color rolling table with 2 layers and was left outside of the structure due to COVID-19 restrictions. Can we maybe have some acknowledgement that the ridiculous restrictions that are now mandated by COVID potentially may have been a cause of this? That potentially that's one of the things that led to this happening, because usually the armorer would be right there. The armorer would be right there handing a gun to someone. But no, instead, because of COVID, because we're scared of COVID, no, you can't be close to it. You have to stage it on this cart somewhere where anybody could just go up and grab it. Anyone could load it with live rounds and go have target practice and come back and just throw it down, who aren't authorized to be handling these things. This is a bad, bad situation. Halls handed the gun to actor Alec Baldwin and yelled, "Cold gun," indicating the prop gun did not have any live rounds. There's Hannah Gutierrez-Reed, who seemed to be more interested in making OnlyFans content than she was on gun safety, and seemed incredibly inexperienced and not ready for this. The prop gun was fired by Baldwin without any mention of anyone making safety checks on the weapon. This is according to the warrant, of course. Mickey Evans noted how Gutierrez-Reed, a 24-year-old former model in charge of weapons for only her second time, was very young. Does that mean she was the one that messed up? Not necessarily, Mickey Evans insisted, taking off the list of other people, including Baldwin, who should have checked it. But either way, what happened is a huge mistake and tragic. She also said most of the movie crew almost went on strike because of the unsafe work conditions on the set of New Mexico. So that, in and of itself, again, indicates Alec Baldwin. Alec Baldwin was the producer on this. This is Alec Baldwin's pet project. Alec Baldwin put money in this. Alec Baldwin was one of the ones who was encouraging people to cut corners, to have these unsafe working conditions, which led to a lot of the crew walking off and being replaced by non-union people, being replaced by local people. And the entire situation, many failures all along the way. A big thing for this person to blame Alec Baldwin specifically, to say he should have checked it, that he is responsible for this. And this may be an indication that more people indeed might come forward and put the blame on Alec Baldwin without fearing for their careers. Let me know what you think about this in the comments below. Smash a like button, subscribe to the channel, ring the bell for notifications, share this video out there, and I'll talk to you later. Thanks for watching, everyone, and a huge shout out to my patrons. I appreciate you guys so much. Want to follow me on Twitter or Instagram? Check out the description below. You'll find links to my P.O. box and my Patreon as well. And I'll talk to you guys later.